kind of a seminal number. It is titled A Philosopher Giving a Lecture on the Orrery. It is by Joseph Wright of Derby. I know it looks like it's spelled Derby, but it's pronounced Darby. It is 1763 to 1765, and it's an oil on canvas. The context for this is the Enlightenment, this period in history around 1763 when lots of philosophers, John Locke, Descartes, were coming up with ideas like free will, separation of church and state, natural rights of man and woman, like the life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness and property. The idea that reason can be used to solve problems in government, in economics, in just any world affair issue, any social issue can be solved with reason and logic. That's enlightenment. So our guy, Joseph Wright of Derby, is like the Enlightenment painter. If you look up the word enlightenment and you Google it with images, like 3 of his paintings come up. It's pretty cool. And so these two are not in our set, but they are his. And it's important to be able to look at them and go, oh yeah, I would attribute that to Joseph Wright of Derby. This is his experiment on a bird in the air pump. Here is a bird in the air pump, kind of freaky. And you can see some people are turning away from this science. This woman in particular, she's having to be consoled. Oh, here's the bird right there. And so this idea of enlightenment can be kind of scary. The other thing here in this piece, An Alchemist in Search of the Philosopher's Stone, this is actually urine that's being condensed, and the phosphorus is being lit up here. And this man, the scientist, an alchemist, he is like almost in prayer mode around this enlightenment, scientific thinking. So our piece, The Philosopher Giving a Lecture on the Orrery, in terms of content, this is our philosopher right here. He's dressed in red. And a philosopher we think of as somebody who, conjures the meaning of life. Well, in the 1700s, a philosopher was someone who simply applied reason and logic to the study of history, science, politics, social issues. So he is giving a lecture on this orrery. So, and this gentleman next to him is writing it down. Content, more content. Look at the books here on the shelf. This tells us that man is recording all of his thinking and these studies. And so it's all about using reason, logic, and experiments to understand the world. That's enlightenment thinking. And the other content to see is that he's got an orrery that he's using to share about how the solar system works. That's what this is. An orrery is a miniature solar system. And it's got all the planets. Now, this one that he's got in 1763 is an orrery that doesn't have all the planets in our solar system. Instead, it's just got Jupiter, Earth, Saturn, and Mercury. And then the metal rings, they are used to show eclipses. And this is an orrery that I saw in Washington, D.C., just up on a building. This is a science, I think it was a science lab, but there's an orrery. So still used today. And I want to also note, in terms of content, that everybody here is engaged in this. So in terms of form, we have 9 people. We have, in terms of form, probably a lantern down here, and the lantern is shining up on the faces of these children, on every face in the room, even the face of the person whose back is to us. And so darkness is used as a contrast all around. So we'd say that this darkness and light, the contrast is tenebrism that we've seen before. We saw it here. I bet you know what this is. This is The Calling of St. Matthew by Caravaggio, which also uses tenebrism. And so the question would be, what role does light play in these two pieces? And for sure, you could use that metaphor of light, lighting up their minds with knowledge. And what does light mean here? I'm just going to leave that question because I think you know the answer. Okay, so the function here is that Wright is definitely honoring the sciences. He is honoring enlightenment, and this is a new topic for art. And he also is showing us just the light that we can gain from knowledge. All right. A philosopher giving a lecture on the orrery.